Yous asked for it. Here is a tutorial on how to draw cartoon and realism. I do these views drawings quite a lot on my TikTok streams. I always get asked how I do them, so thought I would kill two birds with one stone. In this video, I will only be showing how to do the cartoon side, and for the next video, I will show you guys how to do the realistic side. Make sure to subscribe and like the video, and the next side will be up soon enough. First step to any drawing that I do is making a grid. I normally do it in like a square or rectangular kind of shape and make sure that it is nice and even. For this one, this particular drawing, I just done a square because that was just easiest. So here's just like a kind of time lapse of me doing the grid. For making the grid, I just normally use a standard HB pencil. I will never use a really heavy one like a 6 or anything like that, because it's just too dark, and then when you go to rub the lines away, like it won't rub away easily. So this just kind of makes things a little bit easier, and so that you can still see all your lines and stuff when you go to do the sketch. So the next part, and probably one of the most important parts, is doing the sketch. If you can nail the sketch, then everything is so much easier afterwards. Obviously this isn't a realistic drawing and sketch that we're going to be making, it's a cartoon one, so it's slightly easier. All the facial features on cartoon sketches are a lot more round, less defined, so you can be quite loose with it in a way. How I always do it is I just follow within the grid squares. I just put in what I see on my reference photo in that particular grid to what I see on my grid and kind of just matching it up. Not really much to it, literally just drawing what you see, and that's how you do the sketch. Okay, so once we've done the sketch, what I then do is I always start with the eyes. When I start the colouring process, I always start with the eyes of any portrait, no matter what it is. I like working from the middle outwards. So I do the eye, I start with the pupil, then I do the actual iris. For this part, it's normally, for cartoon drawings, the iris is normally like a gradient. It goes from light to dark or dark to light. So if it's like a green eye, it'll be like dark green to light green. Like it's pretty much that, like 9 out of 10 times, right? For realism, it's a little bit different, but I'll explain that in another video. So yeah, and then after that, what's really important is you always have a white dot on the iris. Use your gel pen for that. I use a jelly roll one. Then I do the white part of the eyes, I like to call it, and then just the rest of the eyes, so like the eyelashes. For that, it's not really the same as realistic looking eyelashes. They're a little bit easier. It's quite thick eyelashes that you're doing, so that is what I done here. I basically just kind of started doing the skin. I done the eyebrow. They're not as difficult as realistic eyebrows. It's literally like a straight line sort of thing, like a thick straight line. Like that's kind of how it is. Next, I started to do the skin around the eye. For this part, it's mainly like quite dark because it's like where the kind of fold of the eye would be. It's quite dark there. There's a lot of depth. So make sure that you're using very kind of shaded colours like browns, blues, purples, and then build them up. I always, for whenever I'm doing the skin, I build up using layers. This helps to blend everything out. So I do a base layer all over, and then I blend it out with another colour, so normally like a lighter colour, just to even it out. Especially with cartoon skin, like you'll notice that it doesn't have as much detail as realistic looking skin. There'll be a lot less values and tones that you see in it, so you'll be using a lot less colours, maybe like 2 colours. I normally find that like 2 colours max. So yeah, that's what I normally tend to do for this one. I use quite a kind of peach base and then like a kind of dark pink peach base, and then I blended that out with a much paler peach colour, and that just created like the perfect skin tone for me. So that's what I done just for the skin throughout this video. Then I done I was procrastinating the hair, so I delayed that as much as I could, and I done the neck and the kind of collar. So for the neck there was a lot of shadows, so I was just using some slightly more contrasting colours, so a lot more warm browns, darker browns, and then blending that into a bit of a gradient to where the lighter part of the neck was, which was on the outer side of the neck. So just making that into a bit of a gradient, again using layering, blending in either circular motions or cross hatching, either or. I put tape on my drawings just at the edges where there's like a kind of straight line where it cuts off, because I just like having nice neat lines. If you like doing that, then I would recommend using washi tape or masking tape for that. It works pretty well. For the clothing, I mean, there wasn't really a lot to that. Just used some green and then added some highlights onto that. To create fabric, yeah, you just need to get your highlights and your shadows right, and then just kind of blend them into each other, sort of thing. Like, it's not that difficult, to be honest. Now for the most fun part, wink wink, the hair. I despise doing hair. If you ever see me like doing drawings live on TikTok, you'll see that most of my reference photos are very cropped and you don't see a lot of hair, because I just really despise drawing hair. I hate it so much. I don't know why. I don't like it. But what was quite good about this hair is it's very like jet black, so it was only really black, a little bit of grey and some white for highlights. So that's basically what I done. I would recommend when doing hair to really look at your reference photo really carefully, and just making sure that you know where the source of light is coming from, and then you'll be able to see where the highlights are going to hit off the hair. And then you can use, well, what I went in with first was the black, and I basically put that all down where I saw the black, and then left spaces in between where I was going to put the dark grey and then the white. And then I just started to kind of blend things together, but not fully because it's not all smooth. And yeah, that was pretty much the hair. There was little bits of like candy, like little not red, just like colourful dots in the hair, just from the sweets, because obviously it's the girl from Wreck-It Ralph. And yeah, that was literally just doing like a solid colour, adding a shadow to the other side of it, and then a highlight to the other side as well. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, drawing cartoon is a lot. From what I've gathered of drawing cartoon, I've really like enjoyed drawing cartoon recently. It's really fun. It's a completely different style to what I'm used to, and it's kind of like a bit easier. It's a bit easier, and it's very effective because it kind of like motivates you, because you can get it done a lot quicker, and the results of it also look really cool and really good. So it's definitely something to try out if you're wanting to create more pieces of art but maybe don't have the motivation, or you're maybe not as confident in drawing realistic. So I would definitely, cartoon, thumbs up, 10 out of 10, would recommend. Well, I hope this tutorial kind of helps, and yeah, like I said before, if you guys want to see part 2, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, like the video, comment if you want to see part 2, I guess. But yeah, knock yourself out, have a go. You can do the same character that I done, or you can do something completely different, and hopefully next video will be up soon. So I'll see you guys then in the next video. Bye everyone. Mwah.